Hello. Hello. Welcome to the, not really the After Fish After Show. It's the After Trey at the Beacon After Shows. But hello, Amanda. Hello. Good evening.
Hey there. Hello, hey everybody. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Really fun to watch. I enjoyed that. There's a lot going on, you know. My ADHD brain has a lot to kind of bounce around to with this setup.
It was. I actually enjoyed tonight's show more than last night's show, I feel like. I don't know. Yeah, it was fun. There was some cool things. I kept thinking about like everybody like Kev and Tim and everyone that was there and the time they must have been having. Again, like last night we talked about a little bit, Kev and I, how the show was okay, but I'm sure being there made it a lot cooler or a lot more fun because the energy in the building is comes through a lot more than, sometimes on the live stream.
It's always like that. And actually even just trying to see what's happening in the crowd can be tough at a theater, right? So it's sometimes hard to get a pulse on what's everybody doing. Are they getting down? Like, they are, but sometimes it's harder to see that when you're in a venue like this.
Completely. And yeah. Because the way the seats are in a theater is different than how you're used to them being in like a venue, so to speak. You know what I mean? So it's like a little tighter and skeeter and yeah.
Kevin, I looked for you. Couldn't find you. I was doing a Where's Waldo, but it didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I hope they had fun though. It was a good show. Like I said, he got, we'll get into it, but he got some of what he wanted and some of what he didn't want. So it was a pretty good balance, I think, for him tonight as far as that went. So I'll be eager to hear his full take on it and how much fun he had. So
and I'm sure a lot for sure.
What's up, Jason? What's up, Dune Farmer? What's up, Joe? Last night was much more than okay. Yeah, I mean, to each his own, yeah. Tonight was better anyway. And even tonight was, I mean, I'm not a huge Trey fan, so,
Oh, interesting. But I was actually going to ask you about that. Like, what, if you have preferences, right? And even within classic tab, like where you fall. Okay. See, I didn't know that.
It's like, Kevin and I talk about this all the time. It's like, it's not even close to Fish or like the Dead and Jerry. Like I loved Jerry because Jerry was so different than the Dead in a way that like he didn't bring so many songs along with him or the crossover. Like there was like Kevin and I always say, there's like Deal, sometimes Werewolves. There's like a few, but it wasn't so heavy. So my problem with Tab is there's like way too much crossover between them and heavy traffic crossover. You get a lot of the crossovers. And then my biggest complaint always has been with Trey is like his voice isn't a ballad singing voice that I appreciate necessarily. Yeah. Like his voice is fun for the fun lyrics that are Fish that I love Fish for, and the rock lyrics that in Fish that I love him for singing and doing, but he's not a ballad guy. So to me, like those emotional, there's no emotional song in Fish that I'm attached to that I'm like, oh, like, so to me, when he does like Trey and does the acoustic and stuff, I don't, it just doesn't.
It's not, it's not connecting with you.
Right. So I just kind of am like, man, and then with Trey band, it's cool, but like Kevin and I was saying, it's like a cover band doing Fish with the lead singer of Fish, like it's sometimes, and you're just like, I don't know, I don't need MoMA and so yeah,
which is so interesting considering Tab has been such a proving ground for Fish, kind of that launch pad, right? I mean, Trey's even said that in so many different interviews in different ways, which maybe is a surprise to him too. I mean, I wonder sometimes, like, I doubt that was ever the intention necessarily, right?
I wonder, because but I mean, it's so funny too, because then he'll take, like the last, like when he did like Pillow Jets and Life Saving Gun and that, and like him and Fishman just kind of like did this thing, kind of went and toured with it and played with it and did them, and then they became these like monster Fish jams. Like, so it's just weird how that creates things with him anyway, and how it sort of all melds into it. you know, so I don't know. There's just, it's odd. It's odd how much there is. So I don't need like, I just, yeah, I never appreciated like Fish Light with Trey. So
yeah. And I mean, I know people who legit feel the opposite very strongly, and that's a different kind of fan also, right? Like there's a place for that for people who feel that way. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. To me, honestly, it depends on the night. If I'm really feeling like Tab, I genuinely like it. It's never going to do the same thing for me that a Fish show will, you know, on different levels of just kind of getting me there. But I do appreciate sometimes the chance to just hear a little more chat, you know, a little more background. I really do honestly love the strings. And of course, that's even a special brand of Tab. So this kind of stuff I really dig, you know, and I would definitely make that effort to make sure I'm watching and paying attention.
That part is cool, and I will say it is, as we'll go through the set list here, the show here in a minute, but there are moments too that I appreciate Dez almost more than Mike in some places. They like Wolfman's is a perfect example. Like I love where Dez drops into with it and goes with it, and it being such a, like you hear it so often with Fish, and it's now become such a huge jam thing in there, you know. But Mike always kind of has this own thing that he like where he goes, and it can make Wolfman's into this like thing that is unique every time, but different every time. And I feel like with Dez, it's very much like you settle into this and you're like, this is kind of the funk groove that you always like want in it to be. And so there's moments like that where I appreciate what this band brings to certain things, but again, it's not something that I'm like overly
kind of straightforward. And people say somewhat similar things about Russ as well, right? You know, he's in there, steady groove, consistent,
right?
That's his deal, and it works for this, absolutely. And I think he's an incredible drummer in terms of he doesn't have to be super high in the mix to be effective, right? He's getting shit done, and it's wonderful. But that's just how he operates, and that must be what he likes, because he's never really fully out there in the same way that you're gonna get from Fish or a lot of other drummers too.
True.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So I know we're going to get to the set list, but I do just have a general kind of thought question. Maybe it's the mix the way I heard it tonight, but I always want a little more Ciro, a little more percussion. I could hear him a little bit at the end. There were moments where it was like coming through for me, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, is he just waiting to rip? Or maybe he has more self-control than like I would if I had all those toys to play with.
Right.
And not every show is like that.
I completely agree. And I think it was, you know, what was really noticeable was, I think it was it was definitely the Dead shows where Trey opened, but I think it was Wolfman's during that one too, where I was like, holy shit, man, he is just laying it. And you're like, that's the groove that sometimes you wish Mike would just go and just play instead of like getting all crazy and doing like, you're just like, just fall into this, man. It's so good. Yeah. So yeah, and Dez is awesome. Like I love.
Yeah. And I think Jason's comment makes a lot of sense too. Very important to remember that setup, just sound wise, right, is got to be super complicated.
Completely.
Lots of different elements there that they're trying to deal with. Lots of different kinds,
especially with the strings, because I feel like that adds a whole other weirdness to it, and then we have to mix the horns in there as well. So all right, well, what's up, FH303? How's it going? Hold around volume. Good to see you. All right, let's get into it. Speak to me to open. I appreciate a good, Kevin, I always say a good opener. This was okay, like, you know, you get, I don't know, it was whatever. Yes, beautiful textures from the Rescue Squad all night. That's what they do, though. That's what's so cool about having that element in there, is it adds that sort of extra brush stroke onto some of Trey's things, which is rad.
That is true. And you know, as we were going through tonight, I was trying to go back to the original Beacon Jam set list to see did they play that song with the strings arranged that time. And there's a couple where, you know, it is similar, and then a few where they added Rescue Squad strings tonight that I wanted to talk about too. But yeah, they had played that one of the latter Beacon Theater shows from 2020, I think, and it was also in the first set for Olivia. So did I jump ahead? I think I jumped ahead.
No, you're good. No, that's good. Yeah. We don't. Yeah, I mean, we can. Same thing with Pigtail. Like, I was curious though. I'm glad you looked that up, because I actually was curious as to what, especially with some of the Fish songs that crossed over this time compared to last time with the strings and stuff, and what, because Kevin and I were talking the other night about. It'll be interesting to see if what Trey wants to try and play with them that maybe he hasn't done or wanted to do, and has, like, you know, the way to do it in this. So anything like that stands out, yeah, point it out if you notice it.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I came in a little bit late to the first set, so I caught the very tail end of Speak to Me, and then Olivia and I was like, okay, where are we going with this right now? You know, it's always curious, just when you open a show like this, there's so much anticipation. I feel like that kind of venue, just having everybody on stage. So I'm curious what people would have really maybe wanted as that opener. I don't really go in with too many expectations. I
agree with this, and I think this is why it kind of worked for me, was because we didn't get a Fishy song until 3 songs in, really, till Set Your Soul Free, and then we kind of got that whole run of them after that. But I thought it was a nice way to open and be like, okay, here's some original Tab songs to, like, get us or get going through, or, like, you know, different songs that aren't Fish to start us off, which it was good. I appreciated that for sure. And then yeah, I don't know, I Set Your Soul Free, I thought finally had a really heavy jam in there, which could have been almost like a second setty type jam. Like, I really liked that it got a little bit going in there. Like, that was fun. That was really good.
I was just looking at this the comment about
they can't piss in the ears of Fish fans, and they won't take whatever he does, even for a good cause. I agree. Too many Fish songs. Yeah. Yeah.
So based on the other, I mean, they just played Set Your Soul Free, the Landmark, a couple nights ago, right? I think 4 or 5 days ago, and definitely a few times before that. So I don't keep track with Tab the way I might with Fish to see, you know, where they placing these songs or whatnot. But I do feel like this version tonight definitely was taking off, and the official chat in YouTube seemed to be enjoying that. I was keeping up with that, because there's some great comments that pop up there every once in a while.
I had it up too for a while, and then I stopped and I started doing some, like, cooking again and doing some other stuff, and then came back and forgot about it for a bit, and then turned it back on, and it's chaos. Like, it's just it's hilarious. I don't know, it's some good and then just some poison, and some it's ridiculous.
Every once in a while someone's trying to make a really deep, kind of insightful comment, and then it just, you know,
and then someone else is just like fart jokes.
Lots of those. Although I did text you during, I think it was the second set, Ray Spachkowski.
Yeah, I thought maybe laugh. That was good.
Not mine. All right, so Petrichor with strings. We talked a little bit about this at set break, and I had looked up, you know, when they played it in the spring, when Tab played it in the spring, and that one was just Trey on acoustic, Jeff on piano. I do really like it with the strings. Like we were saying, it's a composed song. It makes sense. But I thought it was beautifully done. And one of the things that I have to say I do like about that arrangement is whenever someone like Trey can really take a step back and just kind of minimize himself, you know, as part of an arrangement, and really kind of be there, but just be part of that group and not out front as much. I always find that interesting.
Completely. And it's one of those songs that it's like, it's almost like when you hear like Susie with the horns, and you're like, oh man, Susie with horns is so good. Like, I wish Trey played like of all the songs to bring over and stuff, like that one, I don't know why that one hasn't crossed over, because Susie works so well with the horns. It's a great song, and once you hear it, you're like, I dig it with the horns. This song with the strings, you're like, it really needs that extra boost. And, like every time it plays, because it just has that. Yes, it was like originally written for orchestra and has that sound to it. And like without it, it just kind of feels like you're getting shortchanged anyway. And so many people complain about the song as it is. So like, I thought tonight was cool getting the full feel.
It was nice to hear
like,
it.
Yeah, like that. Like, and I know last night Kev was joking that I'm gonna get Petrichor, like in a bad way. So this was one of those songs I think it's funny that he got tonight. But I think I'm hoping he appreciated it because I thought it was kind of cool. And I know Tim was there tonight too, and he likes this song, so I'm anxious to hear what he thought of it tonight too, with the full arrangement and stuff. Because I thought it was a cool version. I'm not a huge fan of the song, but it is fun live sometimes to get. Like, it's one of those, if you're in the house at the moment, I'll take, because it's just very Broadway feeling and very show tuney and very Trey. So like,
I mean, I still remember the first time I heard it and I was like, okay, you can just see the thread right over the years of how into the production, whatever the vision is, it could be New Year's gag, whatever. Petrichor is right up there with, there was some kind of like mad genius. Again, not for everybody, for sure. And I totally get that. There are times when I'm like, okay, cool. It's not necessarily going to get me to a different headspace, but yeah, it was a cool version tonight.
Yeah, and I agree, Jason. It was a short one, but I think having the strings there both is the reason why it was like that, because you really don't jam it out with them anyway, and you don't need to, because they add that extra element which gets you through the song anyway, so you don't really need that. Without it, I think with Fish does it because they jam out everything anyway. It fits what they do with it in that way. I feel like with the strings, it was cool. But yeah, it was cool. So, and then About to Run, right on. Like, I feel like we haven't gotten a lot of it on the Fish side lately with him. So this was cool to get it like this and have a little bit of that. I don't know, like not jazzy, but a little bit sexier feeling to it with the horns and like that feel, like just the feel of it with the background, like who he was, like what he was doing. I don't know. It was cool. I thought.
I think it was a good point in that set for it too, because we had started, kind of a very similar vein, right? And so it just was a little bit of a switch up that I think was well placed for where it was in the set. I liked it there.
Completely. I saw FH303 over on Volumes. Like, YouTube chat was ridiculous.
Dude.
Totally. Like,
I don't know what you know what though. I like Fish official call outs. Like, I'm in all the bottom feeder Facebook groups for ages, right? My drug band is better than your drug band. There's something about it that I'm just like, I just want to see what's going on.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. No, and that's the problem, is like you'll even get stuck reading too much of that or scrolling back up to find like why somebody's calling somebody else out for something, and then I get too into it and like not even listening to the songs anymore. I'm just like, it's like reading a book. I'm just reading the chat and like what's happening. So
yeah, totally.
I try to hide it, but always you flip the phone and then it comes back up and whatever. So anyway, Evolve. I know. Yeah, another one that Kev was not super stoked about getting, but it's fun. I don't know. I don't hate that song at all. I like it, and I like it in this arrangement too. Like, it's just one of those that's completely acceptable by me. So yay.
I have a weird thing with Evolve at the very end, and this is regardless of who's playing it, right? Like what configuration of musicians. To me, the ending always seems like it takes everybody by surprise because they're singing. And it just, I don't know. There's something about it where I'm like, clearly this is the ending. We know this, right? This is how the song ends. But it just feels like, oh, we're done now? And I don't know. There's something that just seems unfinished to me, or like confused.
Like, it doesn't feel like it's the ending, or it's not the place for the ending.
I don't know. I think it's just to have like the lyrics kind of there and then they just kind of trail off and we're done.
I can't. It was in like, and then they all evolve or like whatever. And then it just ends. Yeah, I don't. It's such a fun song.
It is a fun song. It is a fun song.
Yeah, and again, this one Kev was like, "Oh, I'm sure I'm gonna get it," and he got it, and I don't know. It's fun. So
Well,
then the Inlaw Josie Wales, good for them for getting that. That's kind of a little bit of a busty, so that's fun. That's cool.
That is a good one. And so we talked a little bit about this during set break, but I mentioned, so a buddy of mine who is no longer with us that a bunch of you may know, Jesse Jarnow from Madison House, the booking agency back in the day, had posted the set list on Fishnet, I think the night that it debuted. And at the time, I don't think it had a name, an official name. And so he's kind of credited, but it was funny because somebody misheard some things and they started calling it minestrone and it didn't stick. But that's an interesting one in terms of just kind of how the name came together. We don't hear it. I don't hear it that much. So it's always kind of a fun one. And it's fun to see people trying to name it in the chat too. Inlaw, outlaw.
Inlaw. I know. Why is it Inlaw?
I think he was supposed to be friendlier than the outlaw.
He's like family, sort of, or like he's like married into the family.
Something like that. I think they were talking about.
It always strikes me as such a weird title because it's not one you see, right? Like you always see outlaw, you never see in-law, so like it's just a strange one to do.
I think you're saying, in his version of the movie, Josie Wales comes over and hangs out, and it's not really the same like shoot 'em up type of deal.
Okay, all right, I'll take it.
Yeah, definitely flashback. I don't know if I've even actually seen the movie. I mean, I know what it is. I know it's a Clint Eastwood movie, but not so much of a Western go, more of a slapstick comedy. If a movie was made after probably 95, I'm not sure if I've seen it. So
made after 95?
Yeah, there's a lot of movies I haven't seen.
Wow.
I like the just super goofy comedies. No dramas here. It's enough drama.
Nice. In-law Gin Gems, exactly. In-law should have dashed it. Yes. Yeah. Water in the Sky. I don't know. Didn't really do anything. Valentine, fine. Like, I don't know what you think. Leading into wrapping up the first set.
Yeah. I mean, I think the lyrics, you can go one way or another, right? With a song like Valentine, the era it was written, kind of what it stands for, very thematic and all that. I think it's a good song in the sense that it's telling an actual story, right? But to me, it kind of fits within the tab world as just makes sense. How did we end? Oh, Sand. Okay. I was looking.
Sand.
Yeah.
Another one, Kev, was like, please play Last Night. Please play Last Night.
Well, they could still play it tonight, though, as we're seeing. It could happen.
I think he took an early bathroom break for that one. I'm almost positive, knowing Kev. But I like it. Like Sand is another one that I feel like, I mean, it gets so much play in Fish, but it's an original tab, so it fits on this side, and it's one of those that gets its groove already, with the horns and everything, adds that different element to it anyway. So I don't know, it always does more for me. I don't know, it's such a weird song because it's one of those that definitely goes back and forth for me. Like I can handle it in tab and I can handle it in Fish, even though like I feel like I bitch about the crossover so much,
You're still tapping a toe at least once.
Always because it's such a good song. Like I love it. I love it. It's a great song. Is it one of those that approaches into the element that we talk about, like the 46 days, kind of the Wolfman's, the moment where it gets overplayed 8 times on a 15 tour like show Fish tour, and then gets 7 shows of tab as well. Is it like in that realm of overplayed? But this one I find acceptable because it does get down, and what he does in Fish with it and explores in those jams is fantastic. But then what they can do with it in the horns and with everything going on in tab is awesome too. So
it might be one of the most versatile songs
in
their catalog in that way, right? just because of where it can go or not. Like, that's the thing.
Completely. Because it's one of those too that even on the fish side we talk about can be an 8-minute shorter song to close out or to fit in something, because sometimes he'll play when he doesn't know what else to play somewhere in the set, and it'll be a compact 8-minute version, but it rips in those totally 8 minutes because it can fill up that space because they know how to do it so well from playing it so often. But then you can also get an 18-minute one that is just, fantastic, fabulous. So yeah, I agree. It's a great song no matter where it is and who plays it. So
I saw a note in the chat about being a Tony original, and so this was something that I think before we went live here we were talking about, because I was thinking back to the early days of Tab, and then I checked it out to make sure that I was remembering correctly about that Higher Ground show in '98. That was 8-foot fluorescent tubes. But what I didn't realize was that Tony played in Trey's wedding band. We were talking about this. 94. And Tony was like, hey, I got this guy, Russ, right? And so just kind of thinking about the three of them and what must have germinated all those grooves that became songs. I mean, there's like an incredible handful that ended up just being bangers, like all of them. I would have loved to be a fly on the wall for some of those early sessions before they even did that benefit show, and just imagine kind of what came of that is wild to me.
Totally. That's forming them out of those. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Like, that is cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Amazing history to think you already have a band, right? Like Fish. And then, oh, wait, hold on here. Let me go and do this. Who does that?
And make this and do this.
And do this other thing.
So good first set. And it was Sam Rip to end it. I love when it closes the set. Kevin always talk about closers. That's a fantastic one, especially for on this side of things, on Tab side. So cool. Good. Yeah. Great opening set. And then I don't know, housekeeping. Let's see. We've got Member Hang tomorrow night. Kev may or may not be back. I don't know. He was trying to get a ticket to go Sunday. We'll see. Amanda will either be here with me or with me and Kev. We'll see, hopefully. Or it will just be me. Or it will just be Amanda. Who knows? Who knows?
No one knows.
You never know. That's the beauty of these things. And then tomorrow night after show. And then I don't know what else we got. Next Wednesday, live. A couple lives. I know we're doing a Christmas live on the 17th, which will be fun. And then New Year's. Woohoo! All right, let's get back into second set. Wolfman's. I liked it. Dez, we talked about this a little bit at the beginning, but Dez in this one makes this song for me, and like just immediately, like hearing him just fall into it and go it was fantastic. I was like, all right, like I can't even be mad. Like, I almost prefer it on this side because of that, as we were talking about, just because like it's the kind of the way I would appreciate hearing Wolfman's more, because it just it kind of gives me that funk groove a little bit more than Mike can sometimes before they launch into whatever crazy jam they get into on the fish side of things. So loved it tonight. Loved it with the horns. Loved, like I said, Des, I think it just had a really cool funk groove. The horns add that element. Like I said, it's almost like a Susie with the horns, which I love so much. So it's not forced. It just kind of like adds this extra layer into it. So
yeah. Well,
great
some things harken back to the era of Giant Country Horns too. Sometimes just that kind of feeling that so many people crave. So sometimes it's almost like an opportunity to get back to that. And I'm not trying to make an inaccurate kind of connection between the two, but just to have horns in the mix like that for songs that really kind of naturally lend themselves to it, that kind of powerful thing is awesome.
Completely. And a couple I mean, fantastic horns players on that anyway. We'll talk about it in Oblivion here. I don't like skipping into that, but that sax jam in that was out of control. Like, and again, this one like had a crazy other element to it, which I'm sure I can't wait again to talk to Tim and hear what he thinks, because I know he loves this song, and I'll be curious to hear what he thought of the jam and if it jammed enough for him. But I thought it had a really cool extra layer, again, an extra level to it tonight, and you don't like obviously get that in Fish, and these days they haven't really been jamming it like they did for a bit anyway, so you kind of feel shortchanged in it. So I thought this was really cool to get it here. And I mean, talk about like the opposite of first set, right, where it opened up and it was like, we are Trey Band. This was like, here's a whole bunch of Fish songs. Like a lot of Fish songs right on through. And I agree to boot. Great set through Twist. Nothing wrong after that either. Like the last two, fantastic. Kev's been complaining about getting that, so that was awesome that he played it tonight. I think that was fantastic. But cruising through these first like 4 songs, it was very good jams in them, but I thought it was funny that it was like such a strong Fish opening compared to first set.
Yeah, it's very different. I will say, I think it was during Oblivion. Just I happened to look up at the right time, and I just saw Hartswick just like right. She had it all working, watching him shred that sax solo. And there's nothing better than that when the people on stage are just as like, holy shit.
Right. Yeah, I thought, that was really cool. Like she was as blown away as like the crowd would have been watching it happen. So that's, it was really cool to see her do that. Yeah, I agree. I caught that too. That's really funny. Yes, I was going to say to boot, Kev mentioned last night that he wanted to get a Pebbles and Marbles and thought that would really be really cool. So that's awesome. I know that he got that. So, and a Wave of Hope. He's a big Wave of Hope fan. So
yes, I know that about him too. So it's like they knew.
It's like they knew. I know. See, it was like what always happens.
A direct line.
Completely.
It's probably Ryan.
I only caught a bit of Oblivion, but the place seemed jumping. I thought so too. Like that Oblivion was ripping. That was a great case of the horns. That's where you're like, this is what that extra sauce brings.
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure.
More of sometimes. Pebbles and Marbles, the same thing. Like I thought it was it ripped. Like I loved all the way up to the end. I loved how it just kind of ended too. I loved the end of it in this version as well. I don't know. It's just really cool. Yeah, it was astounding. I agree. Like it was such a cool, it was a great drop in there too, not expecting it and being like, oh shit, fantastic. Like,
yeah.
Yes.
Well, and that song's kind of, as we know, it's kind of had its transition from the beginning as his solo stuff, right? Instrumental. To where it is now. So kind of taking it back a little bit for the version that's a little more stripped down sounding than you would get, with Fish, I think is pretty cool. And it kind of takes it back a little bit to maybe some of the early days of that song. I think they should do some kind of like just what Pebbles would be and what Marbles would be. These are the thoughts that go through my head. You should see my notes. Actually, Kev has seen them at different times, and he's like, it's like that meme of the chick just staring and the math symbols are like floating around her.
Oh, that's good.
Sorry, everybody, but that's how it is.
I like it. Jay Longworth, yes, Wave of Hope started the outstanding part of the show.
Very
Wave of Hope.
Yeah.
Was I think these two songs actually were, other than the Oblivion jam, which I thought was fantastic, were really the highlights for me. I thought the twist, we'll talk about Wave of Hope in a second, just jumping ahead, but I thought the twist was the first time they really got a little bit fishy in the jam and got a little bit almost darker than usual, in there and took it a little bit someplace. Cause like, ooh, this is the first time. Because they didn't do it like last night with My Friend or Carini, which were the two songs that you kind of expect a little bit of like shade into the darkness to happen, and it didn't happen. So I didn't think he would, like Trey Band was really explored those areas as much. But tonight I thought in Twist, it's sort of like kicked the can down that alley, and it was cool to hear. And I was like, okay, cool. And I thought the Wave of Hope jam was fantastic. That song for Fish is such a fucking massive jam vehicle. So it was fun to see what they did with it in this case as well, because it's a massive jam song. So
yeah, I mean, they kind of gave us a little bit of everything in set 2. I guess you could expand that to the entire show, but I feel like as one kind of standalone set of music, which I want to go back and listen to again tomorrow, I feel like there was like little sprinkles of everything, right? Including some of these jammier, kind of more extended moments that were taking it a little bit beyond, typical kind of tab territory.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, Twist did have Melt Jam vibes, broke the Twist down a bit completely. Like that's what made it a little, a little different. Like a little, it was cool. It was cool to hear get that way where it went. I like that a lot. So those 2 songs, I feel like, yes, I would say like the best part of the show, but definitely kicked off with 2 of my favorite jams in this set. Like did a lot with that. And to your point, like you said, it kind of the whole show had these like pockets of moments and things in there. So yeah. And then last 2, like I said, Kev has been wanting that and bitching about getting that. So that was cool. First tube last night, last tube tonight in its place. So that's cool.
So I don't know if anyone else out there thinks this, probably not. And that's cool. When in that one in particular, I don't know why in last tube, Trey sometimes sounds like Zach Gill from ALO. Yeah, do you know that voice? It's like a very distinct voice. And I think there's some songs for some reason I hear that. And I heard that tonight, and then I couldn't remember Zach Gill's name, so it took me a while to figure out what it was. But, to your point about the ballads and everything, right, and just vocal stylings and power, there are so many times when Trey sings that I just, like, I'm smiling because you can kind of tell when you're in either his range or just something that's maybe, like, especially comfortable for him to do. But, yeah, I don't know why. I dig that one. I'm always a fan of Last Tube. It makes me want to go back and listen to Inner Tube from Plasma, which I haven't heard in a really long time.
I like, it doesn't get played enough, I feel like, is what I would say about it. And like, so.
Julius Horn.
Saw
that one right away. That one is for me for horns, and it has been actually Gumbo too. Gumbo and Julius to me are the 2 that because you know what, I think I heard them first. I think those were some of the first songs I ever heard Fish do personally with horns, and they just kind of got me from.
Gumbo is fantastic with horns. I'll give you that one. That one I like.
That's one of my I love it. Gumbo's always been a real special one for me.
Julius definitely, yes, that works. And Susie is just, I mean, it's great. It's next level with it. So true. What do you think in Long Lines?
I mean, I like that song. I think that it was interesting. There were a lot of split opinions out there for people. I didn't think that was a song that people would have really strong opinions about in either direction. What do you think about it?
I mean, again, it doesn't do anything for me necessarily. It's just one of those songs that kind of gets grouped into the Trey. So call it a cool down. Yeah. I would agree with that. I liked, and same thing with Shine, like whatever. Like I liked Money, Love, and Change, and I liked Simeon. I thought those things. I think Simeon was cool. Like I haven't heard that. Like kind of like got it going again to close it. That was kind of where it picked me back up. So yeah, I don't know.
So for Money, Love, and Change, I think that people heard this too, but the Manteca tease in there, right? Like that was a thing I wasn't imagining. That was kind of a fun, but there was a Watermelon Man tease in there too where was that? That was earlier in the set. I'm trying to look at my notes on my document here. The Watermelon Man, where was that? Did anybody hear that? Might have been Wave of Hope, maybe?
Oh.
The Herbie Hancock Headhunters. At Jazz Fest this year, I saw the Headhunters like 3 or 4 times.
Oh yeah.
And you playing that, but they played it in kind of different configurations, and so it was I kind of got like 3 or 4 different renditions of it.
I am the world's worst like finder of that shit. Like I'll never hear anything like ever. I'm like, I don't know. And then when you do, like I'm like, oh, like especially never. So don't even ask. And then I'll be like, oh man, that was totally like some Santana. And that's like no, like I guess so. Don't rely on anything.
My problem is I will spend so much time thinking about the 2-second tease that I miss 5 minutes of the actual song, and then I'm like, what happened? I missed all of
the song because exactly.
So I think you've got probably the better way to go.
Yeah. Oh, see, Killer Kowalski's definitely did. But so when you get a Watermelon Man, see, there you go.
Oh, so good. I know. Fantastic stuff. That's a fun thing about Jazz Fest is I feel like every year there's just, you see a lot of the same artists, different times with different kind of super groups or whatever, late night shows. And there are just sometimes songs, like usually it's a couple meters songs.
Right.
You just Watermelon Man was my my go-to this year.
Yeah, and you said your boy solo in there. See, you got which again you would have wanted it turned up a little bit more before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go. See, I saw the Headhunters with Mayor in the band.
Dude, nice. I bet that was really good. Mike Clark, their drummer, is like one of the most technically sound. Just the man is, I don't know. He doesn't even look like he's moving his hands. I don't even know how he does it. Anyway, shout out to Mike.
Love it. That's awesome. Right on. So I don't even know where we are. Where are we? Shine? What do you think? Shine? I have no idea where we are. Shine? My Love and Change? What do you think? Wherever you want to go.
Feel
like, Gin Jam says, feel like Cars, Trucks, Buses would be fun for the horns to jam out. That would be kind of a cool.
That would be great.
Jam. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I feel like there was a new Master Sound show, because they cover that sometimes, where I feel like there was a sit-in, and this was like random festival set. That is a fun song, and I think that's a fun one that could potentially go in a lot of directions, but it doesn't always get there, right? Like when they do play it, it's just, I always really dig it. I like the vibe for that one. I think that would be fun too with horns. Yeah. Oh shit!
There's certain songs that have that vibe that would be cool. The horns.
All right, I'm copying Greg's chat note there so I can look this up later. Because you're saying Scarrick, you're saying some big dogs there. Nice. Charlie too.
There you go.
Nice. All right, cool. Thank you. I will be looking at that.
Sorry about that.
Sweet. And then so Simeon. I think I like the lyrics. I do. I was kind of just looking through those, and it's one of those where I think you have to be in the mood for something like that, right? Because it's going to immediately take you out of wherever we were with like Oblivion, or right, like it's going to bring you somewhere else.
Yes.
People may or may not want to be somewhere else at that time.
Yes, it kind of also, could feel a little bit like a Goose song almost too. I had flashes of in there, which I think that's my biggest thing with Trey is it reminds me of like this cross of Santana and Goose kind of combined a little bit together. And I love Santana, yes, but like I don't need that much of it in every song to me. And then the Goosey side of it sometimes just I don't know. So like that, I think that's kind of why I'm also sort of like.
Okay. Can we explore this a little bit more for just a sec? I just want to play jam band therapist. I'm a doctor. Remember that. So for the Goose connection for you, is it smooth? I'm trying to think of what adjectives would. Because I mean, I'm familiar with Goose stuff, so just kind of curious. Is it the lyrics or is it something else?
Somewhat, but I think it's just the amount of music that's going on at one time, because I feel like Goose has a lot of music going on, you know, and like it's percussion, rain guy, like there's always like there's weird shit going on, and you're just like, I don't need this much music going on in my song. And I feel like it gets that way sometimes with Trey, and it drowns out some other things, and it just has that extra like layer of.
Okay, that's fair. Totally fair. Yeah. Okay, thank you. No, I mean I'm always curious. I'm rather neutral on Goose these days, but I don't really think about them. But
it's not that I mean, yes, I guess, yes, I don't like them, but I appreciate things about them. So it's not that I hate them. I just don't. I don't like them. Like I don't want to see them. I've tried. They're just not my thing. But I do appreciate a lot of things about them and what they do and stuff. So it's not like I hate them. Just like that. So anyway, back to this. Simeon just. I like that song though. I thought it was fun. Like it just kind of like. It's a very horn song. You know what I mean? And I like songs that are like very horn songs like that, and like in that thing. So it's cool. Weird closer though, interesting closer to your point, because it kind of puts you in this place somewhere where as a closer you're not quite there. And then well, a Pet Ultimate song, I guess, because you have Ghost to close, which kind of like blew it up, but like put you in this place. So you kind of needed Ghost to kick you back into where you wanted to be, or where you were saying you wanted to be from where Simeon probably took you.
Right. And it's funny because I was seeing some chatter about, do you S.A.N.T.O.S your Ghost? Do you ghost your S.A.N.T.O.S? And I love that they came back, not jumping too far ahead. But, listen, if we're going to be honest, I mean, I don't know if I've ever done that. I have probably mazed a Bowie once or twice in my life, but I'm okay with it. It can happen. It can happen for those of us that are not as focused sometimes. But yes, I was happy. I mean, I'm going to love a Ghost,
Yeah.
It works so well with this setup, with that configuration. Like, I think it really does.
I would agree. It does work. It was cool. It was a perfect closer too. Like it's a reliable song too. Like it's always going to do its job and rip shit no matter where it is. So
then, okay, I want to chat a little bit about Snowflakes in the Sand.
Okay.
So that had that massive gap, right? Like almost 20 years between being played in 2018. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because it was in Boulder that Trey busted his solo tour. I think that he busted out that song after such a humongous hiatus, to the point where I don't think I was sitting there like, wait, what is this? It just was not a song that I really knew. And he told this amazing story that night, kind of around this song, and being in Colorado, and that being the next place after Vermont that they eventually kind of busted out back in the 80s, and just is very nostalgic for him. I remember that night. Plus that it's that solo stuff. He's kind of sitting there talking and sharing stories. But at the time, I did not realize that it had been that long of a gap between last time played.
That's crazy. Yeah.
99 to 2018.
That's crazy. That's a long gap.
I think in any configuration for Trey, to have, I don't think it had been played at all anywhere. I could be wrong.
That's crazy though. Either way, like that's a long gap.
Yeah.
Regardless, so very ballady, acoustic, encore. I'm sure that's awesome for some people. Yay. Cool. Yeah. And then S.A.N.T.O.S, an interesting like 3-song encore of like, I don't know. Bungle, what's up? Hey, Bungle just dropped in on volume. Tonight I like better than last night. Yes, I agree with that. I said that earlier. Kevin, Tim, good dudes. Nice. You ran into both Kevin and Tim. I love it. I hope you guys had a good show. That's so cool. Right on. Sorry. Bungo got Tim the ticket. Thank you for getting Tim the ticket. You're the man, by the way. That's so cool. Right. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think of the encore? You say something positive for everyone to enjoy.
About the encore?
About the 3 songs there.
The 3 songs. I could hear Ciro and S.A.N.T.O.S.
Okay.
I could hear percussion. So I was for that at the very end. It was great. Loved it.
There you go. There's a positive. Good.
And that was one that I had checked out to see during the original Beacon Jams had not been done with strings either. I think that was another one of those that they did during that run, but hadn't really brought it. And so I was kind of curious. I was like, what are they going to do with this?
Mm-hmm.
And so they they changed it a little bit. They added some stuff. So that was cool.
That's cool.
And they're facing the other way, like Trey said. I'm sure he was happy. We're happy too. It would have been great if they actually didn't, though, just to end it.
They're happy. We're happy too.
We're going back.
I mean, yes, Greg, but this is my thing. No Trey song, no Fish song is incredibly powerful. Like, to me, like, it just doesn't do Hunter or Jerry, or it doesn't do that. Like, it doesn't have that kind of kick. Like, Fish to me will always be stupid, crazy lyrics, like just ridiculousness and fun and incredible musicians and jams. Like, I just can't get emotional about it. So Brian, like, those songs do, I don't know, like, it was a very slow encore, and like Trey doesn't have, like I said, the greatest voice, so I'm still just like, okay, great. And then S.A.N.T.O.S, I don't know, man, like it gets so much play over on the other side anyway that it's become, like we talked about kind of almost with Ghost, it's become so reliable that it just, and he loves playing it, so I don't know, can't really complain about it. So I know he loves closing it, and I know he loves the lyrics, so it was fun with that. So
I think for me, and I feel like this has come up in other recaps at some point about Brian and Robert, I think that, I have a kind of more of a personal connection maybe to just the overall meaning of that song. There's some, I mean, not to get like super emotional about it, but there are some things that I get from those lyrics that I don't feel for any other Fish song, to be honest with you, which is even surprising to me, because same with you, that's not what I got in it for, and that wasn't really even an option. If I could, or maybe like Strange Design wrote, the closest you were going to get for a long, long time.
Right? Exactly. Strange Design was the most emotional Fish song I had when I became a Fish fan.
And that's why it was my high school yearbook quote.
That was it. Like, you're like, okay, if this is as lame, this is like as into that slow zone as they go, I'm all in. Like, that's fine with me, because this is like not even, and then it's like, but then it got so much more. Yes. And I know that, like, the chat's thrown out like Lifeboy, no, Bug, no, The Horse, no. Fish is not that band. Like, they're just not that band to me that's like emotional, like brings any tears. If anything, they bring tears of joy and tears of awesomeness to my eyes. They don't ever bring tears of sadness or tears of emotional, like, angst or restraint or anything like that. That's not them to me ever. Like, so
I think Brian and Robert is the only one that could even maybe come close, and it's not so much about that, but in very like simple lyrics to a simple, but also like, to me, very spot on. So I'll just say that so it's an interesting one for me, actually, in their whole catalog, that I would even feel that way, because I was not looking for that, right? But I was stoked to hear it tonight, just in a more stripped down, like just different kind of setting. Actually, I'm cool with that there. I liked it.
Yeah.
It's a moody tune for sure.
The yin and the yang, like as yangy as I want to get, is like lengthwise off of Rift is the most emotional I want to get with Fish. Like, that's as deep as we need to go, and that's who they are. Like, that's perfect example of Fish lyrics getting deep. Like, that's it to me. So
I saw a Shade comment. So I live out here in Denver, so yes, that the Shade Denver was a good one. Yeah, that's a good call, good pull from this tour.
Yes. There you go. There you go.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes, Bungle. I thought the same thing. S.A.N.T.O.S does sound like Ghost at the beginning. I had the same thought. Like, wait, didn't they just play Ghost? You guys know that, right?
I was laughing. I was like, wait, you coming back? What are you doing? Not done yet?
Hey, old man, you already did this.
But the funny thing is with them, like, that could totally be what they wanted.
Yeah. Exactly.
You just gotta wait a couple seconds and then you're like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Don't ghost
Coil.
your
Yeah, see, Coil, yeah, you get emotional with Coil, like, yes, but it's like a different, it's not, it's again the music, it's not the lyrics or like,
Velvet Seal.
So awesome, man. Thank you. We went so long, but like love bringing it down with you. Like thanks you guys for staying around and talking. The chat's awesome. They're on fire.
Yeah, I love what everybody's sharing. And I'm sorry that I thought it said Velvet Seal.
I know the explanation for it. It does look like an L on that.
My glasses need to be adjusted. But no, this is great. Thank you so much.
I know, this is great. Like the chat is going off. This is so much fun. Thank you guys for throwing out all these. It's true. Like it's great to hear. I mean, we're talking Trey, but see, it all comes back to fish because
right on.
All about tears of joy. Exactly. Tears of joy and happiness. Coyote with strings tomorrow night. That would be rad, Bungle. I agree. That would be a great Sunday night for sure. Love you too, Jay Longworth. Jason, thanks, man. Thanks for staying up late. You guys on the East Coast, thank you. 43 Pebbles, Killer Kowalski, incredible perp. You guys are rad. Thanks for staying up and fuck your face. Yes, always a tearjerker, Jen Jams. Fuck your face. That's one of those that always gets me in the feels.
I'm gonna snort. That was great. Perfect ender.
Amanda, always a pleasure. You'll probably be here tomorrow night, right?
I'm hoping so.
Maybe 3 of us will be here tomorrow night. Who knows?
I gotta be there just to hear Kev's rundown. I gotta know where his head is at right now.
I know. Hope so. Like, I hope he doesn't have some crazy, ridiculous story that he got kicked out in the middle of the second set for doing something, because that seems to be Kev's stories all the time. But I didn't get any crazy texts for him, so I think everything is good.
Right on. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you as always. Let me figure out where the end thing is to outro. Here it is. Anything you want to say, Amanda, before I close out?
No, this rocks. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. We'll do it all tomorrow. Enjoy Sunday football tomorrow, and see you for the Trey shows. Bye.
What's up, dog?
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.